When I was in the gymnasium, then one of my biggest fears was that I'm going to end up in my life with a job doing something I don't actually believe in, doing something just for money, and therefore also feel that I'm wasting my life, that I'm not actually living. And I think the reason for this fear was because I felt that in the school we didn't talk about the things that truly matter in life, the things that help us live meaningful and fulfilling lives. And now I understand that the aim, the purpose of the current education system is not to do that. It's not to help people live meaningful and fulfilling lives. It's not to prepare us for life, but prepare us for the labor market. And I think that's why there are so many people who are unhappy and unfulfilled, because their happiness has not been the aim in their upbringing and in their education. But shouldn't it be? Isn't this the most important thing we want for our children and also for ourselves? To be successful not only as a worker in the labor market, but be successful as a human being in life. So naturally, when these important topics in life, such as meaning and happiness, were not part of my education, part of the preparation, I felt unprepared. Yes, I was learning physics and biology and history. I was learning to get to know different subjects. But I didn't learn to get to know myself, to truly understand who I am and what I want to do with my life. So after the graduation, I decided to take time off to figure things out and to create clarity for myself. I imagined that if someday I am a parent, then what would I teach to my child about life, about living? What guidance I would give to my child? And when I played this out in my head, then the advice became clear very quickly. Listen to your heart. Follow your calling. But I understood that if I genuinely believe in those ideas and I want to share them to my children one day, then I cannot do it unless I have lived by those ideas myself. Otherwise, I simply don't know what I'm talking about. What does it mean to listen to your heart, to follow your calling? What does it actually take? I understood already then that the role of a parent is to be a role model. And it doesn't matter that much what we teach with words. What is more important is who we are and how we live. Because how we live is what we teach to the next generation. So I started following my own advice. I started following my calling, doing what I felt was right in my heart. And long story short, I felt that there was something very important missing in the way we human beings live our lives. And I felt a calling to talk about it. Naturally, if you have a message to the world, what do? You write a book. But the problem was I didn't know what was my message. But I started to write the book anyway. My logic was that if I'm able to sense that something is missing, then at some level, I also must know what this something is. And for me, writing was a way to bring what's in my subconscious to my conscious mind. And this text became like my speech to the mankind, my message to the world. And this book writing process lasted for several months. And at some point, I got this feeling that, okay, now I'm ready to say it out. And just like with the book, I started writing the sentence without knowing how I'm going to end it. And when the point came to finally say it out, like, what is the most important thing I want to express to the mankind? Then, to my big surprise, the first words I heard in my head were, I love you. And it's still a little bit difficult for me to describe what happened next. My body started shaking, tears started to roll from my eyes, and suddenly I felt this deep connection with the whole mankind. And with that, I experienced so profound and immense sense of care and love for the whole humanity. And this experience, I recognized that this is what has been missing. This deep connection with ourselves and with each other. And this care and love that naturally arises from this connection, from this closeness. On that evening, I cried myself to sleep out of happiness. And the next morning, when I woke up and opened up my eyes, then automatically tears started to roll from my eyes again, just out of pure gratitude for being alive. But when I came out of this experience, my mind started thinking, okay, that was all very nice, but what is my message? What am I going to talk about? Love? That's so unoriginal. Seriously, my mind was a little bit disappointed. It was expecting something cooler. But I realized that in this experience, yes, there was nothing new that has not been already said for thousands of years on this planet about the love and oneness. At the same time, I felt it doesn't matter that it's not original. It was real. It was the most real thing I've ever felt in my life. I've never felt so alive. And this experience helped me to get clear about the sense of calling I had felt inside. It gave me a sense of meaning, the reason why I do the things I do in my life. And focusing on my calling has led me to doing many things in life. Sometimes I'm in the role of a speaker. Sometimes I'm in a role of a priest, carrying out wedding ceremonies. I also coach people. I'm a professional magician, inventing and creating and teaching magic tricks. And then there's storytelling, music, short stories, poems. I'm part of a group that works on creating a model, to create a model of an ideal school. But the thing is, for me, these are not the things I do. For me, these are the things I use to do what I do through these forms. In Estonian, the word profession is elukutse, which literally means a call from life. The language hints that what we do as our job is meant to be something we feel we are called to do. And I believe that a calling is not a what, but a why. And a career should be an expression of this why. Focusing on my calling, doing what I feel life calls me to do, has brought me a reality where I can do every day what I feel life calls me to do, what feels right in my heart. And it has been my experience that being in contact with my why I do the things I do, has contributed the most to my overall happiness in life. So this is my story in short. And I'm sure you can imagine that this journey has been crazy. There has been a lot of fears, a lot of doubts and uncertainty. It was a real challenge. It was hard. But it would have been so much harder if I would have not had the support of my parents, who wholeheartedly supported me in figuring out my why. They trusted that this feeling, this sense of calling I had inside was there for a reason. And they had trust in my ability to figure things out. And because they had trust in me, it was easier for me to trust myself. And my message here today is that if we want children to find a career that's right for them, which makes them truly happy, then we have to encourage and support them in exploring not only what they want to do in life, but why. And I believe that every child is able to figure it out if given the right supportive environment to do that. So let's create it. And not only for our children, but the children of this world, for every human being. Thank you.